Hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. This is going to be a group energy healing where I heal 142 people in 14 different countries, and it will be fabulous. And the theme for this healing and all the healings this month is food, fitness, and face. Your physical body. Thank you. So, what to say about this theme? It is fabulous. I think I'm just going to go right into what we're going to work today. So, let's do that. Okay. So we have been doing shoulder meridian work in this set, and I mean, we've been working the themes in of making, baby step progress in with food, with your fitness, physical fitness, with face, body image, self-image, identity, that kind of stuff. We've been doing techniques that are very overtly about that, but then we've been doing other things, and sometimes the other things that it's not so obvious that it helps the theme help the most, which is just odd but true. So as I was looking at the surveys, I read people's energy that write the surveys, and as I'm reflecting on what to do in the next healing, and the shoulder meridian work that we've been doing, I keep seeing that it's like one of the biggest reasons that people are able to make some changes. I guess just because, shoulder meridians, shoulders are very big for personal power. Like you bring in a lot of new energy this way, you bring in new energy this way, and from all sorts of directions, but it seems like, if you have that idea of like strong shoulders and, I could take care of myself, it just seems like the more powerful you are here, the safer you are here, you end up acting in a more empowered way. So, and I recently realized that, there are 3 meridians that go through the shoulders, but there's a 4th that I was kind of, I had a blind spot about. So that's the large intestine meridian there. So I'll quickly show the route of all 4 of those meridians, but I especially want to spend time doing the Wei Qi aura of the gallbladder meridian. The gallbladder meridian starts should I just show it? May as well show it. So it starts right there in the corner of the eye, that dark green line, and then it goes up and it goes down the hairline, and then it takes a wide arc around the ear, and then it goes up to the forehead, right? And then it goes straight back through the, base of skull area. So we work it generally there, but then it goes through the neck and down this, towards the armpit, and then it zigzags down the side of the body. And so that part we don't, overtly do a lot. And so I do want to overtly heal that, the meridian. And we could, imagine that whole route if we want. We can do it as a river, just the gallbladder meridian. So there are different ways you could do it. But more importantly, even, is the Wei Qi aura that supports that gallbladder meridian, because each of these the 12 regular meridians plus GV and CV, they have their own Wei Qi aura, and you know, like a gold flowy force field that you know, strong boundaries energy that protects it, nourishes it, generates gold light, and sends it towards that meridian. And the gallbladder meridian, Wei Qi aura, I noticed a lot of people actually had a lot of, you know, yuck here. And it could just be because in my healings, I focus a lot on the front and the back. I don't do so much the sides. And I think maybe that there's been a little bit of a blind spot in my focus. And so people that I heal very regularly have not, you know, had that extra assistance in awareness and as much healing as they could in these side areas of the gallbladder meridian Wei Qi aura. So the effect is that people can kind of get a little smushed, you know, in their head. And because, you know, early on in that meridian, I could say it, it does a lot of side of head stuff, you know, and so if your head kind of gets all, you know, that's a big deal. And then, you know, it's base of skull there, and, you know, and your sides. I don't know. It just, I think that's going to be great to, especially unblocking the Wei Qi aura of the gallbladder meridian. So we will do all, we'll do all the 4 shoulder meridians as one river. And that has totally worked, which is nice. Because, you know, it's like, you know, say you have like 2 minutes. Sometime maybe you don't have the headspace to like mentally retrace the whole route in your mind. Oh, yes, gallbladder meridian. It starts by the eye, and then, oh, yes, and then it goes base of skull, and then it goes neck, and then it goes side of body. Blah. You know, I mean, if you could just imagine one river, these are all my shoulder meridians, you know, it's easier. But it does seem to be nicely effective. So anyway, that's the idea. But so that's one of the things that we'll do today. And it's different mainly because we're putting more emphasis on the gallbladder meridian Wei Qi aura than we have. And then also that we're doing 4 shoulder meridians in that river as opposed to just 3. The large intestine was the one that I had been forgetting. Maybe just because I'm so in love with the small intestine one, because that's the one with the upper back zigzag is the small intestine one. The large intestine one starts in your pinky. It starts in your index finger right here. See this large intestine meridian. So it goes up. And you know, those are key shoulder and neck points right there. So that's going to be good. And now here is a little inaccurate. The video shows it going like that and like that, but it really actually crisscrosses and then goes up the nose, which is kind of fascinating. Because most of these meridians, like there's a left branch and a right branch, and they don't, you know, externally, they don't crisscross like that. But the large intestine meridian does crisscross right there, you know, under your nose. So, just so you know, that video usually is very accurate. This, you know, the acupuncture guy, the hairy acupuncture guy videos are usually very accurate. That, you know, that's just the one thing it is inaccurate with, as far as I know. All the rest is accurate. Okay. So that's that. Shoulder meridians. More fun with shoulder meridians and their Wei Qi auras. Yay. For personal power and, you know, feeling strong enough, being strong enough to make positive change in everything, including the theme, food, fitness, and face. And gallbladder meridian is helps with self-assertiveness. I mean, you know, it's like kind of silly because sometimes in these meridians, like one point does a gazillion good things for you, just one of the chakras in the whole meridian. So like to summarize, oh, this meridian is good for this. Just so you know, it's like it's potentially misleading because, you know, say you look at the Sanjiao meridian, you know, you look at each point, there's like so many ways that each point help, you know, that the meridian helps because this point helps this, this, and this point helps this and this and this, you know, whatever. But anyway, but if we're going to summarize and just say the gallbladder meridian helps with one thing that everyone needs, it would be self-assertiveness. So I think that'll be cool. La la la. Okay, so tummy meridians, we're going to do those today. We haven't done those in a while. So it'll just be, you know, tummy meridians is just the meridians that go through the tummy. There's Harry Acupuncture Man showing us the tummy meridians. But yeah, so we'll heal those meridians, especially as they go through the tummy area, and unblock the Wei Qi auras and heal them, you know, the auras in front of the tummy, which can help if your tummy feels bad. So on a physical level, but you know, also for other reasons, just to make you feel stronger and less vulnerable. Less like the world punched you in the gut. So that should be good. Then another thing we're going to do is so unblock the back of physical body aura layers 1 and 2. Oops. So I just noticed that people needed it, and that could help with a lot. Basically, it could help, you know, less physical pain in the lower back and tension in the lower back, but also it seemed like some sample people the angels were pointing out to me had boundary issues because they were so used to having a lot of slower moving and or stuck energy back here that it was easy for people to dump here. And so they had less boundaries, say with clients or family members, because it was, you know, any area that's just chronically blocked that you're not really checking and taking care of is an easy area for people to kind of hop in and you know, hoard, etc. So I think that'll be nice to help, again, to help you have boundaries so that you have the, you know, the head space and the heart space and the oomph to make your positive change. So we might, this is on the maybe pile, but we might do some yin yang balance stuff. We have done that. I think it was last month. We imagined 2 rivers, one a yin river and one a yang river. Yin river would represent all your yin meridians, including the CV meridian. And the yin meridians, I list them in the info section of this live stream. The yang meridians, you know, are also listed in the notes section, which includes GV meridian as I'm defining yang meridians. So it includes like your yin aspect and all the meridians and organ systems, and your yang, you know, side of you, plus all the yang meridians and organ systems. So you just look at 2 rivers, you know, that represent yin and yang, and you balance them and see that they're both strong enough and so they can help each other. So we'll see if that's needed. It could be because we're doing shoulder meridians and tummy meridians and, you know, other things that it won't be necessary. So we'll see. And then also on the maybe pile is so I'm just writing body image and identity stuff. We'll see how I do that. The angels are kind of being coy with me about that. So we'll see how we're going to work body image. But I have a feeling there'll be something explicit around body image and identity that we'll do. So there's that. So you know, so I'm not able to, sometimes I know exactly what we're working on, how we're working on it, whatever, so I can preview it in a very detailed way now. But other times it's sort of like the angels will show me as we go. So this is one of those times. No, but later there will be a healing outline in the comment section. Maybe some of it will be up tonight, but then maybe the rest of it will be tomorrow, you know, Thursday. I'll put it up. We'll see. So a few of the video chapters will be done today, later today, and then the rest will be done tomorrow, Thursday, most likely. I'm going to take a look at the chat greetings. If you did want to say hi, go ahead and do that. Just say where you're, if you want, you can say where you're viewing from, what the weather's like where you are today. You know, something simple. I'm from Chicago, 60 Fahrenheit and sunny. Oh, that sounds nice. We were quite sunny earlier, but you know, it's a little bit, it's like bright cloudy. Yes. But not so bad. We had, I think yesterday, maybe it got up to 70, but I don't know about today. I think in the future we're going to have a lot of 60s. But it just gets dark earlier than I wish. But I will adapt. I will adapt and I will garden earlier in the day. I will. Okay. Thank you for the weather report from Chicago. Someone says, hi, Janet. I can see and hear you from sunny Las Vegas. 88 degrees Fahrenheit in Las Vegas in October. Dang. Wow. Love the shoulder topic. I've been having to remind myself to relax my shoulders today. LOL. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Someone says, I'm always involuntarily shrugging my shoulders up to my ears, so I'm excited to work shoulders more. Oh, good. You guys make me want to do some shoulder rotations. I'll just talk about shoulders. It's funny because this stretch, the side stretch like this, is one that is really safe for me. But like you're supposed to be able to go like this and like this to the side. But I like pulled out, I pulled one of my cervical vertebrae out of whack by doing that. Like maybe a month or month and a half ago. So I don't do that stretch anymore. One where you go like that and that. So so there's that. But yeah. You're not supposed to pull anything out of alignment by doing that stretch. But it's good to know your unique body and your unique body little quirks. So you can be as careful as you need to. It says Looking forward to these healing techniques so I can stop the junk food subconscious eating. Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? And people can stop the hop into my space. Yes. Well, you know, those two are probably quite related. You can think, okay, well, last time I was subconsciously eating, was there one person in particular that was most in my space? Not that you make it their fault, but sometimes, you know, it's like, it's nice to have it boiled down in a simple way in your brain so that as you're comfort eating, you're not just like, oh, this sucks, I'm doing it again. You're like, oh, this sucks, mom's in my space, let me get her out, you know? So good. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thank you for healing me and my spouse. Yes, my pleasure. It's nice. Only 100 degrees today in Phoenix, Arizona. Wow. 100 degrees in October. Wow. That's nuts. But yeah, apparently it could be worse. That's pretty amazing. US is such a big country that there's just these epic variances in temperature. Someone says, hi, Janet, also from Las Vegas. Yeah, I do have a lot of different Las Vegas viewers. I don't know what that is. And they don't seem to know each other. It's just like, I have a lot of Chicago clients, but that's because I lived there for like, you know, 2 decades at least. And, you know, I was living there and working there. And and back in the day, like I was really big on Yelp, you know, and Yelp is very local, you know, yelp.com. For those of you out of the US that don't know about Yelp, it's just this website. It's like, it started out as a restaurant review website. So it's very local and it's and focused on your individual city. And so if you're in a big city, it's a nice way to get known if you become known on Yelp, you know, if you get good reviews on Yelp. And they're more careful. Like some people complain about how careful they are, but it's like you have to review a lot of people for them to take your reviews seriously, because otherwise they just assume you're reviewing your, you know, your husband's business or your cousin's business, and you're not really telling the truth. So, but anyway, I did get big on Yelp, and so a lot of Chicago people found me that way. So that's why I have so many Chicago clients. But Las Vegas, I don't know why I have a little cluster of Las Vegas clients. But it's cool. Tomorrow rain expected to be 80 during the day. Well, that's pretty good. Oh, nice. Isn't it a violation of free will for others and intrusive beings to hop into my space? For others, sure. Sure. I mean, yeah, but people screw with other people's free will constantly. I mean, there are entire professions built on screwing with other people's free will. I mean, it's not ethical. It's really bad karma. But when you think about like the marketing profession, you know, they're not talking about clean, you know, karmically clean marketing. They're talking about influencing someone's behavior at all costs. You know, business school. I didn't go through business school, but I had a client that went through business school. I'm sure I've had several clients that have gone through business school, but like from what little I gleaned from their experience, it seemed to be, you know, basically training people how to, you know, influence others, but a lot of it's not clean at all. I had this one client, I still do. And back when I used to do individual sessions. So this is about so yeah, she worked in marketing, and she really did not grasp free will. Like like it was, you know, it was like there was this situation, a specific situation, and she was like, well, I want these people to, you know, decide to work with my firm and whatever. And she was mad at this woman who, because that woman didn't want her company to hire her company. And I was like, well, but that's her free will choice. And she's like, but that's not what I want. You know, and so she was like doing things to her energy, and it didn't strike her as improper in any way. So, I mean, that's the thing, you know, it's like a lot of you know, a lot gets lost in capitalism and marketing and all that. That's why, you know, I try to be careful about it. I double check, like with the angels, like, you know, if I'm sending out an email, you know, I'll be like, okay, angels, is this still clean? You know, because it's, you know, you don't want to screw your karma. It's totally not worth it, you know? But, you know, so if I say, you know, that's why I say phrases like, if you would like, or if you like, or it could, or, you know, because I want to be able to give people that headspace to decide, like, oh, will this help me? You know, or should I do that? Do I want to do that? You know, and it's, but anyway, so yes, people are screwing with your free will constantly. Not everybody, but yes, it's a thing. Yelp is how I found you many years ago. Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah, there was this time when there was this time on Yelp where it's like I had good reviews on Yelp, and you know, but uh at one point, for some reason, it's just like I blew up on Yelp in a good way, you know, and I got all these people wanting sessions all at once when I was just doing individual sessions. And so this one guy, he had been used to me not being busy, and he never forgave me. That was like it. I was like, not only did he not want to work with me anymore, which is understandable, you know, if you want someone who's available, you know, in 2 days, and then that's no longer possible, you know, you could look for someone who is available in 2 days. That's, I get that. But no, like literally, he would whack me forever over that. And like years later, I emailed him and I'm like, you know, are you okay? We could work, you know, I do group healings now if you want group healings. And he confirmed that, yeah, he hated me with a fiery passion. It was because I wasn't, you know, I wasn't available to work with him as much. And he just, that was just unforgivable. So, you know, but you know, I got strong enough so that if somebody, you know, decides that I'm Satan, I'm still safe. You know, I mean, you know, I know how to heal wax and stuff, so it's okay. But you know, it is a thing, you know, for I think in general, you know, like in business with friends, you know, it's possible that, you know, for whatever reason, somebody's baggage will just get triggered enough that, you know, they think you're Satan, you know, like, you know, not literally Satan, but you know what I mean? Like you're on their, they have a grudge that they have no plans of getting rid of ever. And, you know, maybe they'll whack you for like 3 years over it pretty continuously until they just find somebody new to hate enough as they hate you, you know? And, so the point is just to get strong. I mean, the point is to behave ethically, of course, you know, but even if you are behaving ethically, you know, people have baggage. Everybody has baggage, you know, and so it's possible that at some point somebody gets, you know, certain baggage triggered that they have no intention of clearing. And so then you're Satan, and, you know, so bottom line, it's great to be strong. Great to keep working your strength and your boundaries so that, you know, It doesn't become something that crushes you. You know, that's important. To be uncrushable and to be able to uncrush yourself if it ever happens. It's a good skill. And that's one of the, I think, the main things that people get from studying my work and, you know, working on it and getting good at it is you become a lot less crushable, and you become way better at uncrushing yourself if you do get crushed. And you get less crushed than you used to get crushed when you do get crushed. Hope that makes sense. How do you heal wax? Yeah, that's like the whole 5 essentials. That's basically what we're doing. Or repair, you know, or repair heals. You know, a whack is a, you know, when someone throws energy at you with a lot of force, and they could throw hard objects with the force, or they could just throw the energy. It's super bad karma to do, but people do it a lot, subconsciously usually. Sometimes they're not consciously angry at you, because a lot of people have their anger shoved down so deep that they don't, you know, and they've walled off those parts of them, so they don't really know that they're throwing daggers at their, you know, daughter-in-law or something. They just do it. But yeah, so the 5 essentials basically is healing the damage from wax in all the key places, you know, aura repair, chakra repair, creative ring repair, you know, back here, good karma windows, space of skull stuff. All, yeah, how to repair damage, basically, from wax. Yep. So, oh, I do have an interesting aside. Okay. Somebody asked, and somebody mentioned in their survey, you know, it'd be nice to know how to, you know, do some 5 essentials work while they're shopping in a store, you know, because they don't want to move their hands while they're shopping. I use Costco as an example of a store. I should just say in a store, but we're out in public. So I mean, there are first of all, you don't have to have a literal copy out in front of you, you know, and do it like that. If you're, you know, in a store, you know, it's gonna not probably be in your best interest to do like aura repair like that. But for example, like say you have 2 hands on your shopping cart, you know, so your hands are like this down here, you know, you can just, you know, make your copy like in the middle of the, you know, like say your hands are like this, right? So your copy of your aura is like right here, and you just send gold light. You don't really have to go like that. You can send gold light, you know, from your hands even when they're in this position. So you're sending all this gold light, you know, to your copy right here, you know, as you're shoving shopping cart around the store. You know, you can ask your angels for extra help and protection, you know. But I mean, I think if you're in a store, you know, obviously you don't want to just, you know, stand there for 2 hours doing your stuff. You want to do something quick and effective, you know, and safe. So say you have a rip in your aura, you want to do some aura repair. Like I said, you can have your copy, you know, out in front of you as you're pushing your shopping cart, you know, and just send the gold like that way. And I mean, if you had to boil it down to the basics, like gold light is like bug repellent for invasive beings and invasive people, you know. So if you're in a store, you don't maybe want to do like sticky gold wax and move it out and hand it to, you know, you with all that hand movement, you know. But like I said, gold light is like bug spray. So you just use so much gold light, send it, towards your whole space that, the invasive beings start moving out enough. And then, technically, if a lot is still working well in your space, like your creative rings and your Wei Chi auras, at least most of them, and your manifestation wings in the back, they all generate gold light. So if you could just get the invasive beings enough out of the way, then that gold light you're already generating could do the repair that you need. At least enough. Until you, do detailed work, sit down somewhere and chill out in privacy, So I would just say, keep it to basics, say, angels, can you help me do this? Just send so much gold light to, your whole space. So you don't have to think about, okay, exactly where, blah, blah, blah. Just send so much gold light. That's like bug spray. It just moves everything out. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this repair and restoring of my space? And you're just using so much gold light. And then so the gold light moves out all the invasive beings and people. And then you could just keep using gold light, and just let things repair, and the more you just kind of relax and be non-resistant, that speeds all the repair up. So gold light and non-resistance, basically, and angel help, as you're pushing your shopping cart. So yeah, that's how you could do 5 essentials while you're shopping at Costco. Also, another thing that's really simple is, like an earth energy soak. I don't know if everyone has seen that video of mine, tricolor earth energy soak, but there's this little 5-minute video from a while back where I have, I'm smiling because I have like, my hair was especially curly that day. I had curled it in like curlers, and it was like, when I still had my hair dyed and like purple and blue and stuff. So, but anyway, you just bring up red earth energy and then bring up orange earth energy and yellow earth energy straight from the core of the earth and core of the earth, and you just soak everything in it. You could just even just do a 1-color earth energy soak while you're in a store, and just walk around like that with a lot of red earth energy up or orange or yellow earth energy. That might be nice, to just counteract the fact that a lot of people around you are probably not that grounded, So hopefully that gives you some ideas. So it says, hi, Janet, it's super sunny day in California. Oh, that's nice. All right. So enough asides, I think. Do a quick sales moment. jwhealing.com is my website, and for sale now, there probably aren't that many spots left. Last I checked, there were like 6 spots left, but there's probably less now. But whatever. There's a small number, I think, still of the October Twin set, which is the set of 2 healings coming up later this month on the same theme. So if I had to guess, yeah, I'm not sure when they are. Look it up. I've been talking. Okay, Thursday, October 23rd, and Sunday, October 26th. And there are 4 spots left. Not much. But there's also the November sets are already up on the page for purchase. And that theme I love so much. discipline, consistent action, and goals. So if you feel like you still want to work on food, fitness, and fun, you could fit it into the next month's healings if that's the goals you want more discipline in. You know, because it's all about discipline, consistent action, and goals next month, which I cannot wait for. But they're sort of like, I guess, sister topics, related topics. Okay, cool. So we will do 3 minutes of quiet, where I'll just finish my prep. Towards the end of that, I will start moving my hands like that, so you know that's I've just started the healing. And then a couple, minute or two after I'm healing in quiet, I will talk out loud as I heal, and it functions as an all levels self-healing walkthrough. If you wanted to listen and do what I'm explaining, heal yourself as you listen, you could. It's like an all levels walkthrough, so even if you're a motivated newbie all the way up to a pro healer, you should find some interesting, cool stuff in it for yourself. All right, so now finally some glorious silence. Okay, thanks for waiting. So you have a big hand chakra in the palm of each hand, and you have a fingertip chakra on each fingertip. And for those chakras in particular, you can set those chakras to a metallic gold color like this glitter. And you can do that just with your thought or your intention. You don't have to see energy to do that. And so then that means that as they spin, they're going to generate gold light as opposed to some other color. And gold is fast moving, but not too fast. So it's good for repair, for unblocking, for letting go. You can use gold light that's generated by one hand to heal and repair and restore the other hand. Kind of like gold, soap, and water. And you can, you know, direct healing is easy if it's just hands, but if you want to add, like, say, shoulders, arms, neck into the mix, it's easier to use a copy out in front of you. So you can imagine a copy, kind of like AccuDoll here, and just imagine, you know, it doesn't have to have all the details that she has, but just imagine the copy of yourself out in front of you and heal it with gold light from your hands. So around your neck. So you send the gold light into the inside of your neck, shoulders, arms, and hands, but then also your auras around there too. And try to be aware of the stuck energy around your neck and shoulders that you weren't aware of previously. Like, I think a lot of growing as a healer and reader of yourself is you always push yourself to notice, like, oh, I never noticed that that's like that. Oh, you know, like if everything's always the same every time, then something's up. You're not quite, you know, letting go of enough of your, like, mental limitations. So just as you're healing and unblocking around your neck and shoulders, just be aware of some burdens around your neck and shoulders, some hard stuck energy that you weren't aware of before, but it was probably there before. And just use cold light so that you can melt it away. And gold light up and down your spine, all your 7 major chakras, your 7 astral chakras, and your 7 physical chakras are along your spine. So 7 is in your head and the top of your head. 1 is at the base of your spine. I still remember when I was just learning about chakras, I used to get confused about, okay, is 7 at the top or 7 at the bottom? Like I kept forgetting how they were numbered. But then I just was like, okay, it's like floors in a building, you know, first floor, second floor, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Oh, I learned it. I mean, now I just know it, but back then that seemed confusing. No, I'm just unblocking each of the major chakras. We'll do more soon with unblocking and repairing the chakras, but I just wanted to get a little bit of that going. Legs, hold light, and hold light around your hips and your legs. Home around here and here, so in front of your tummy and behind your lower back. Use lots of gold light. You want your auras to be very flowing and blocked there so they can do a good job of protecting. So let's do grounding. So you have two major groundings, one for your astral body energy system, one for your physical body energy system. So both of them ideally should be as wide as all your auras. So like if you stretch out your hands, then it'd be as wide as like your wrists or the palms of your hands. So just make both of your, you could remake both your groundings, make them both red or both orange or both yellow, both the same color. And you can make a copy out in front of you of your groundings and use gold light to clean them out, melt away any blocks. You want the groundings to have a very strong downward flow, like a big, powerful waterfall. Or like a super downpour of rain. And just check for the blocks, melt them away with gold light. You can kind of sweep the blocks together into one spot if you're nervous you're going to miss some of them, and melt them all like that. Sweep all the blocks together that are in your grounding and melt them all by focusing a lot of gold light. And again, how I said, like, kind of push yourself to notice things that you don't normally notice. We can do that within the context of your grounding. So what's something that you don't normally notice, or you wouldn't normally notice, that's going on in your grounding right now? And do you have some hard objects stuck in there? Do you have a pile of energy blocks somewhere that you almost didn't notice? Or challenge yourself to notice something. Is, right by the bottom of your grounding, is it a little bit there, like a flat sort of block that you could melt away? You could do collapsing gold nets. Because I was thinking about that in the context of your grounding, but you can do it for your whole space all at once, including your grounding. So it's just a way to get rid of invasive beings and invasive people too. So you imagine all of you, so all your 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside there, and both your groundings going down to the core of the earth. And you make a big cube of collapsing gold nets that's bigger than you and all that. So it goes all the way down to the core of the earth, goes above you, all around you, and you just collapse those gold nets in and have it catch up anything that's not you in the gold nets, and then drag all that out, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Right? And say you're in a store, right? You don't want to go like this, You could just create collapsing gold nets around you and collapse them in automatically and just say, angels, can you take all that junk? So you're not like handing it to your angels with your arms. You're just sort of, you make the gold net, you collapse it in, catch all that junk, say, angels, can you get rid of all that? So you just kind of create the gold nets with your intention to be all around you. And then with your intention, you collapse in the gold nets without any hand movement. You say, angels, can you, take out the trash for me? So, so it's while you're shopping, you can do collapsing gold nets. You want. You can do collapsing gold nets and like a tricolor soak. That could be a good combo. It's nice too, maybe just if you get good at proactively, doing like little things like that while you're in public. If you practice while you're pretty fine already, then that would be nice. So then when you're whacked, it's that much easier to do because you're just used to doing it. As opposed to like, waiting until you got really whacked. And then that's your first practice of healing yourself in public. You can always say, angels help me to do this safely. But, you know, a lot of these techniques, they're, you know, especially if you keep to the simpler ones, you're going to be present. And being present is, you're safer when you're present. It's not like we're doing an out of body meditation or something that you definitely would not want to do while you're in a store. I have one out of body meditation video, which, you know, you might like to do while you're safe at home and not driving a car and not in a store. But all these other techniques you do by being present. So. Let's see. All right. Taking notes because later I need to make a healing outline and video chapters, so I need to know what we did. So now we'll do aura repair, which is, to be clear, repairing your auras because they got damaged from people whacking, throwing energy, and or hard objects. That's how your auras, that's the main way that auras would be damaged in the first place. Okay, so we'll repair all the rips at the same time, all at once. You can make an image with your intention, make an image of a rip and say, okay, well, this rip represents all the rips in all my auras, my 17 auras. So you want to clean it out first. So use sticky gold wax, fill it up with sticky gold wax, have the sticky gold wax that sticks to everything that's not you. So you can lift it all out as a lump and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift it out. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, fill that out. Angels, here you go. And then the gold light should have good contact with the rip. So you can get it as deep as possible and just keep using gold light so that the rips heal up. Okay, so that probably repaired most of your rips. So we'll just do it one more time for the leftover rips. Make a new image of a rip and say, okay, well, this represents any leftover rips. Then you do the same process. Sticky gold wax, lift out all that junk. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, lift out the junk. Angels, here you go. And also you can say, angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings blocking this repair? All right, good job. So you can redo your gold buffer zones. We do have a video where you can see me over caffeinated. Well, really me and caffeine, you know, it's like very sensitive. So even a little caffeine, but I think back then I was having like 2 cups of Assam tea a day, which is like a yummy kind of black tea from India. And you can see me like really hyped up from too much caffeine. I was present, but I was really like, "Rrr." Anyway, so that video is if you search chant right gold buffer zones, you'll find it. And the point would be not to just see me hyped up, but to learn about gold buffers, which slow the rate of aura damage if you recreate them enough regularly. And you can learn to just recreate them in an instant. So if you search chant right gold buffer zones, you'll find them. You'll find that video. Anyway, long story short, redo your gold buffers. You can also so gold mesh spheres, GMS, gold mesh spheres. You have 3 of them in each Wei Qi aura. So you have 15 Wei Qi auras, which are strong boundaries energy, and then you have, and that's spelled Wei Qi auras. So Wei Qi is strong boundaries energy. It's a traditional Chinese medicine concept. The fact that you have 15 Wei Qi auras is something the angels showed me. That's not like, you won't find that in like some Chinese medicine text. But anyway, so those Wei Qi auras, they generate a lot of gold light if the gold mesh spheres are intact and cleaned off. So you just double check. You know, we've repaired all the auras, but it's great to, you know, just wash off the gold mesh spheres, make sure there's no gaps in them from previous aura damage. So it's like you have one Wei Qi aura would have a gold mesh sphere, an inner one, a middle one, and an outer one, all around. Oh, if you just, so there's essentially like 45 gold mesh spheres, you know, 3 per Wei Qi aura. But you just repair them all at once, wash them off all at once. And I'm spending extra time on the sides, just because I notice people are having boundary issues in the sides of their auras more. Good enough. Oh! So usually I type CR and I mean creative ring. So that's just my little abbreviation. So we'll repair them and unblock them, and we'll also unblock chakras 7 and 6 at the same time. Creative rings are right up here. So sometimes if you have invasive energy, you know, beings or people, they can kind of be in all those locations at once. So it's nice to unblock them all at once. Move everything out that's not you. So the creative rings, 3 gold creative rings, like I said, they're up here. They come and go with you, with your astral body, with you as a spirit. So you just imagine copies of your 3 gold creative rings out in front of you. You want them to be undamaged. So each, you know, it's like rings without cracks, without broken, missing pieces. And then you also want the flaps to be relaxed and shut so that it's a nice smooth outer surface. This is what it looks like when the flaps are irritated and stuck open. But that's not what you want. You want them to be like smooth outer surface because all the flaps have relaxed and fallen shut. Then your energy comes and goes and the ring does its job and generates a ton of gold light for you. And it's harder for people to cord with these flaps shut. So that's good. So just double check. You can melt cords from people. And if they're invasive beings, you can imagine your creative rings, and then your 7th chakra and your 6th chakra. Chakra shape is like an open cylinder like this. So 7th chakra is oriented this way in the top of your head, round opening in there. And then 6th chakra is oriented this way. So round opening in the front, round opening in the back. So like I said, 6 chakras, astral and physical, 7th chakras, astral and physical. And then your creative rings, and just unblock them all at once with sticky gold wax. So sticky gold wax, have that stick to everything that's not you, that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, and then move all that out at once. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, your creative rings, and your 7th and 6th chakras. Move all that out. Angels, here you go. Sticky gold wax, your creative rings, and your 7th and 6th chakras, astral and physical. Move all the junk out that's not you. Angels, here you go. So now you should be able to, all those flaps closed. Sometimes it takes a while, you know, it's like they're less open than they were, but they're still partially open. So you're missing an invasive being there. So say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings messing with my creative rings? You can unblock above the creative rings, because if you have energy blocks up here, then invasive beings or invasive people can cord into those blocks and send energy further down. So just unblock upper part of your auras above your head, like all area. Just you're taking deep breaths. And wiggle your toes, do some ankle rotations. Check your grounding. Make sure it's still wide. Make sure it's fully unblocked. And again, if you still have some flaps open, there may be some damage that you missed. Use extra cold light. The angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings messing with my creative rings? Breath. Why do you have to say that multiple times? You know, that's something that people ask. And the only legit answer, the only answer that makes sense, even a little sense, that I do hear from the angels is that you can only handle incremental progress. And so if they were to, you know, whisk out every single invasive being in your creative rings and your 7th and your 6th chakras, it would be too abrupt to get you in, and it would, the ripple effect would be too big in the rest of your system. It would trigger too much, and you have a day to lead, you have, you know, a life, you know. And so they'll do like, okay, bit, and then they'll watch you adjust and reground and whatever, you know, and they'll do another bit if you ask again, and then they'll watch you adjust again. So, you know, for some people that they miss that kind of point that you do have to ask multiple times if you want further, you know, if everything's still not quite right, you got to ask again, and they'll move out some more invasive beings, and then you repair some more and get more present and clear your triggers more, and then, yeah. So that was why you have to ask angels multiple times to recycle invasive beings. For God's sakes. And more unblocking above your creative rings, your auras. All right, good job, good job. Okay, so you have a lot of chakras. You have your major chakras along your spine, which are 2 sets of 7 chakras, 7 physical body chakras, 7 astral body chakras. Then you have so many others, which I call minor chakras, just to differentiate between the ones everyone usually knows about and all the others. But you know, there are acupuncture chakras, those are included in the minor chakras. Also, you know, you have chakras around your joints. You have a lot of chakras just to keep everything flowing properly. So in your body and in your spirit. So let's repair and unblock them all at once. So use composite copy technique. This is the basic chakra shape for all the chakras. So you just imagine a chakra image and just say, okay, well, this represents all my chakras. As I repair and unblock this, I'm repairing and unblocking all my chakras to the extent that's healthy and gentle to do right now. Right? So use gold light. And you could do like a earth energy soak for all your chakras. Bring up red earth energy, bring up orange earth energy straight from the core of the earth, bring up yellow earth energy, maybe bring up red earth energy again. Lots of gold light, melt cords. So typically the cords are in pairs of cords. So like, you know, say your neighbor's cording you, it'll be a pair of cords into one of your chakras. At either round opening. So just keep melting away the cords. And these chakra openings, they have flaps too, just like the creative rings have flaps. So just like with the creative rings, you want the flaps to relax and fall shut so they're not sticking out like this. So the more that you repair and unblock and melt the cords, the more they'll relax and fall shut. So then it makes it harder for other people to. And the damage could look like cracks. It could look like chunks missing around the round openings. So just use so much gold light that all that repairs. You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings messing with my chakras, can you please recycle them? You can melt energy blocks in place, but you can also lift them out. So lift out whatever energy blocks are healthy and gentle to get rid of right now. Lift those out of your chakras and melt everybody out of these blocks. And then you could just blow them up. If you blow them up while everybody's in them, it could be a little jarring for some of the people, and they might, you know, you'd be a little bit more likely to get some backlash wax sent your way. So you wash them out first of the baggage, and then you clear the baggage. Then you can have your nice fireworks, blow it up. So lift whatever baggage is healthy and gentle to get rid of out of the chakras. Melt everybody out of the baggage, and then you could blow it up if you want. If you're healing yourself, if you're healing someone else, just use gold light to melt it thoroughly. All right. So lift out the baggage. Use lots of gold light. Melt everybody out. Keep melting the baggage. Check for those flaps around the side. See if you feel them. If not, if you don't feel them, then that's good. Maybe they're shut by now, but if they're not shut, just keep working that. Keep melting cords, melting away hard objects, keep repairing. All right, good job, good job. We could do for the theme. We'll do it a different way. You could unblock your chakras for the theme. But sometimes there's, a lot of baggage too in the aura layers and not just the chakras. So if we do like a blanket exercise or something, that would cover both. That would clear blocks that were in the chakras as well as in the aura layers regarding whatever we're trying to make progress with. So we'll do that instead today. Okay, so the fifth essential is what's left because we've already done grounding, aura repair, creative ring repair, chakra repair. So then it's just the fifth essential, which is the back here stuff. So base of skull, acupuncture points, as well as good karma windows, GKW, good karma windows. So okay, so starting with base of skull points, why not? So they're right there. The two horizontal rows of acupuncture points, they're dots on the diagram, one at the level of the top of the earlobe, one at the level of the bottom of the earlobe. So those are the base of skull points. I mean, that's my name for them. So just comb through them and comb outward into the auras and gather up anything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. And use so much gold light that you're melting everything out of it, like people's cords. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this junk? And just keep melting the baggage away till it's... So again, comb through the back of your head, back through those base of skull points and outward, gather up all the baggage that's healthy and gentle to get rid of. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Use gold light, wash the people out, and keep melting until the blocks are completely gone. You can make a red grounding all the way to the core of the earth, all the way up to your base of skull area. So the point of that would be to bring up extra red earth energy to bathe your base of skull area and also to encourage you to release as much as possible that's not your energy down the grounding to the core of the earth. So comb downward, make sure you're releasing well. Down that grounding from your base of skull area all the way down to the core of the earth. You can have a hard plate of energy, like the energy blocks just get compressed into like a hard plate of energy right up against your base of skull area. So check for that and just use lots of gold light. You say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this clearing? Melt the people away, melt their cords, and keep melting those hard blocks of energy. Again, look for hard plates of energy close up behind your base of skull points. And focus a lot of gold light there. The angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in this area? Keep melting. Blocks clear. So your good karma windows, those are back here too. They look like triple frame windows. So a triple frame window looks like this. So They're back here in your astral body aura, 1 per layers of your astral body aura. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so there are all these triple frame windows. And they're like back doors into your astral body aura. So you want them to be repaired and unblocked so that only you can use your back door, basically. And it's just the upside of it, well, it keeps you safe if it is repaired and whole and unblocked, but also then you can bring in, it's one area you can bring in your positive change energy through. So sometimes, there's a lot of focus on repairing so that the invasive energy can't come through this way, which is important, but then it's like, it's kind of a shame if you just stop at that and you don't like keep unblocking extra so that all your good stuff can come through. Because then it's kind of our risk that then you have a negative association with that area. Like, oh yeah, that's where all the problems start, Whereas if you just keep doing a little bit extra unblocking until all your good stuff can come through this way, and it's like you may really start to value this area in a really different way. Sometimes very sensitive people, understandably, I mean, they've had a lot of trouble with invasive energies, like it's harmed their sleep, it's harmed their mood, like considerably over the years. And so they might only be familiar with the downside of their spiritual existence and not, the beauty and the, grace and all the good stuff. So just a little bit extra unblocking beyond the repair stuff back here, and then you can start to bring in some lighter stuff, some of your energy that's more uplifting. Okay, so that was kind of new, the whole unblocking extra so it's uplifting. I'm going to make sure I put that in the notes. Uplifting your energy that's uplifting. Cool. All right, so that concludes the 5 essentials. La la. Okay, so 4 shoulder meridians. Sorry, I forgot one in the other 2 healings when we were doing shoulder meridians. So the large intestine is the one I had forgotten. So I will play through their pathways just real quickly for you. Without much talking. So as I'm playing these, you can do healing on yourself as I play them, and that's what I'll do too. I'll, heal the people that I'm healing. I'll heal their meridians as the video is playing. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking. You can just watch the video and heal as you're watching. But then we'll heal them all as one river too. So if it blows your mind too much to, look at the pathway exactly where it goes and heal that way, don't worry. We'll get to the part where we heal them all as one river. So first, we'll just do direct healing on those meridians. So large intestine we'll do first, the one that I had forgotten. Starts in the index finger. Makes its way up to the shoulder and the neck. Sides of the neck. Again, index finger all the way up, shoulder, sides of neck, the nose. And I had said before that that's the one inaccuracy in this video, that the large intestine meridians actually crisscross right here under the nose. And so one side then goes up to the other side's nose. So they come up and go. Okay, so that's large intestine meridian, and you just use gold light, red earth energy if you want to heal and unblock as you're watching. So then small intestine starts in the pinky, up through the wrist, through the elbow. My favorite zigzag for back. And cheek and back to the ear. Now I will highlight, this is one where I will highlight 3 points. One in particular. So the other day I highlighted these points right here where the white is right there. See, the white just went, there's like a flat part. So if you see the brown shoulder zigzag and it zigzags and then it does 3 points in a straight line right there in the upper back, that is small intestine 13, 14, and 15. And apparently 14, small intestine 14 is good for like 5 trillion different things. At one point, small intestine 14. But I like working all 3 at the same time too. So, small intestine 13, 14, 15, and then comb outward all the way out through all your auras, especially maybe small intestine, Wei Qi aura, but all the others too. Unblock all around small intestine 13, 14, 15, but then especially small intestine 14, unblock that. Really important one. Okay, so moving on. So then the next shoulder meridian we'll do is Sanjiao meridian. Again, starts in the finger and goes up the back of the arm, through the elbow, top of the shoulder, neck, around the ear, up to. So let's do that one more time. Starts in the 4th finger there. around the ear, a tight arch around the ear. Okay, and then the fourth shoulder meridian, gallbladder. So see there, starts in the eye, next to the eye, hairline, wide arc around the ear, and goes up to that forehead. Through the base of skull, through the neck, chest, armpit. Down the leg. In fourth toe right there. Do that one more time. So gallbladder, corner of the eye, up to the hairline, wide arc around the ear, up to the forehead, back, base of skull, and through the neck, chest, armpits. And you can just, put your hands going down on either side without going like, okay, boo, 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 Like you can just send gold light with your intention, through that route. So now let's just do all those 4 as one river. So now we'll do the as one river. Right? So those 4 meridians that we just did directly, now we'll imagine them all as one river. And just use gold light, red earth energy, and unblock. Much as is healthy and gentle to do right now. Use gold light, get everybody out. The angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of these meridians, can you recycle them? Imagine blocks in the rivers and just melt them. And again, you can just have your intention be that you want to only see and clear what's healthy and gentle. So that way, if you're only seeing what's healthy and gentle to clear, you don't have to worry. Like just whatever you see, you can clear. And if you think about, okay, shoulders having to do with like personal power and manifesting and bringing in new energy about, like empowerment and stuff. And you think about these rivers, okay, well, is this enough flow? Is this unblocked enough for you to be as empowered as you want, for you to manifest as much as you want? So just check within that context of like, okay, is this strong enough? Is there enough volume of energy flowing, of my energy and my body's energy flowing through this river representing these 4 meridians? If not, just imagine the energy centers within these meridians and heal them, because the energy centers, the chakras, they generate energy and they keep it flowing. So if there's not enough energy, just heal the generators so that they can make more energy. And you can check too for leaks. You know, maybe some of this energy is being diverted, you know, to somebody else, not you, you know, and so you can just heal, you know, make sure there's no like little diversion off to another person from your shoulder river, your meridian representing your 4 shoulder meridians, the river representing your 4 shoulder meridians. All right, good enough. Good job, good job, good job. Woohoo. Yay. You're a rock star. Okay, and now I want to do just a little bit extra on the Wei Chi auras of those meridians, especially gallbladder meridian Wei Chi aura, but we could do all of them at once. Also. So your Wei Chi auras are all around you. You do have 15 of them, but you know, let's especially do these 4 Wei Chi auras that are from these shoulder meridians, right? So just think of just those 4 and think, okay, well, they wrap all around you. Do they have enough gold light? Are they unblocked enough? Are they repaired enough? Especially the gallbladder meridian one, especially here and all around, right? Because the gallbladder one, that's the one that zigzags through your forehead and then zigzags down your body and helps with self-assertiveness. So just imagine the gold light and just melt away anything that's in the way of your self-assertiveness, that's clogging up your gallbladder meridian Wei Chi aura. And heal all 4 of those Wei Chi auras extra, your shoulder meridian Wei Chi auras. Angels, if there are any invasive beings in the way of this repair and unblocking, can you recycle them? Again, your Wei Chi auras, especially the Wei Chi auras for these 4 shoulder meridians. Sanjiao, small intestine, large intestine, gallbladder. Especially the gallbladder meridian Wei Chi aura around the sides of your head. A sense of the sides of your auras all around your shoulders, breaths. All right, good job, good job. Woohoo! Okay, good job, good job. Okay, so we're going to see Harry Acupuncture Man again. Mentally prepare yourself for for his fabulousness. Oh, okay, good. It's not showing them right away. Showing him right away. Let's see. There we go. Ooh. Talk about mentally prepare yourself. Yeah, I guess that is the whole biker shorts area. There's that. Okay. um so let's do that. Let's do the tummy meridians and the whole biker shorts area. Yeah, that's fine. I'll get over seeing his nakedness. All right, let me change the text. So these are the biker shorts points. All the acupuncture points going through the biker shorts area. So that's cool. There are a lot of meridians right there. The center, the midline one starting in the crotch, going up the midline of the front. That's CV meridian, conception vessel meridian. Yeah, that helps to manage all your yin meridians. And then the orange lines there on either side of that, that's the kidney meridian, which starts in the sole of your foot, actually. Goes up. And then right there, it goes up on either side of CV and then ends in your chest. But we'll focus on the biker shorts route of it through your stomach. And then the dark green line, the going downward, that's your stomach meridian. Oh, wait, I'm not in this. Sorry about that. There I am. Hi. Hello. Okay. So stomach meridian, it starts just below the eye and it goes downward and then it goes around the jawline and then it goes down your neck and downward through under the nipples, downward to the tummy area where you see it there. So we'll just mostly do the tummy area part of that stomach meridian. But if it's too weak right there, then you might need to do the first couple points right here. It start below your eye. Might need to unblock that. Stomach 1, just below your eye. And then your neck, down your chest. That weak stomach part. And then That bright green one, that's your spleen meridian, which starts down in your feet and goes upward. We can just do that little baggy part if you want. And the purple one, that's, didn't confuse it. Yeah, I think the purple is this, the bright green is liver. Yeah, all right. So let's just focus on the up and down ones. So that would be, we're not focused so much on the bright green one, but just on the purple one. Spleen, which is going upward from the toes. So if you comb through that stomach area and outward and drag out anything that's healthy and gentle to clear, and then say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings? Use gold light and melt away all the junk in that baggage, and then melt the baggage itself. So again, comb through, and you can comb through in the thighs too, so the whole biker shorts area. Comb through the body and outward and gather up all that junk and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings? And then just keep using gold light to melt all the junk and melt the baggage. That area in the back has a lot of glorious points as well. This image might, oh no, that's not. Not really. Yeah, not at all. That's not, sorry. I wanted to show the back. Like the biker shorts points in the back. So I think this will be a good way to get there. Bear with me for a second until it gets back there in the lower back. It splits from 2 routes into 4 routes, which is cool. Yeah, good enough. Okay, right there. So just a hair earlier. That N area is very cool. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. So that's the back biker shorts points, right? So comb through your lower back and your upper thighs and drag out all the junk in that UB meridian and just anywhere that's in your way, anything that's healthy and gentle to get rid of, comb through those points and outward, gather up junk in the auras, and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? And then just keep melting people out of all this, the blocks, and then melt the blocks fully. So again, back of your biker shorts area, just comb through the body and the meridians you see there, comb outward, gather up junk in the auras, and say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into this stuff? And just keep using gold light to melt all this junk. Okay, so then now we don't have to really look at the points the whole time. We can just look at the fun biker shorts models. Oops. Yeah. He's not, well, you may or may not consider this image fun, but the one that I particularly consider fun is that one. Okay. So comb through your biker shorts areas and the auras and just gather up junk. Angels, can you recycle all this junk? All the invasive beings, can you recycle them? And then just keep using gold light to wash the people out, and then keep using gold light to melt the bag. Do a little stretching if you want as you do it, gentle stretching. Comb through your biker shorts areas of your body, comb outward into the auras, and just use lots of gold light. Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings hooked into these blocks? And keep using gold light to melt the block. All right. And then specifically, we're going to keep that image up. One sec. Thank you. Hurting my brain. Okay, so specifically now I also want to do oops. Okay, so back of physical body aura, layers 1 and 2. So your physical body aura layers, you know, they're like layers of an onion, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, generated by your physical body chakras, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So layers 1 and 2 are closest to your body, and we could just heal the whole layers as they go all around you. Layers 1 and 2 extra, just lots of gold light, especially unblocking above the head and below the feet for layers 1 and 2. So right up here and right down here. And block them extra. And again, like I talked about towards the beginning of the healing, push yourself to notice what you have never noticed before. So maybe there are some extra blocks there. Maybe there's some spinny white cloudy energy, which would be invasive beings. You could say, angels, can you recycle those invasive beings? Maybe there's some weird, you know, past life device that looks very ornate and black, and you can just use lots of gold light and loosen it up and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. And then again, throughout layers 1 and 2 of your physical body aura. And then especially in the back of your biker shorts area of layers 1 and 2 of your physical body aura. I mentioned in the intro discussion part that sometimes people have, they're just not that present here. And so they don't know that people, you know, hop in here. And yes, it does screw with your free will if people hop in here, but it doesn't matter if people do it anyway. Lots of gold light. Push everybody out of your aura, physical body aura layers 1 and 2, especially behind in the back of your biker shorts area, lower back, butt, upper thighs. All righty. And we could just for kicks do physical body. I'm sorry, astral body. Aura layers 1 and 2. So astral body, aura layers 1 and 2. So same location, but your astral body aura, which is you as a spirit. So Close around your body. Same thing we just did, but just for your astral body. Again, push yourself to notice things that you didn't notice before. There's some white cloudiness, which is some invasive beings. Angels, can you recycle those invasive beings? Some hard objects that you notice in your upper back area. Just use sticky gold wax, lift them out. Angels, here you go. Angels, can you recycle the invasive beings? And astral body aura layers 1 and 2. Push yourself to notice things that you never noticed before. Maybe there's a device behind your lower back area. Gold light melted away. Or surround it in gold light and hand it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Above your shoulders in your astral body aura. Push yourself to notice things you have not noticed before. And just take care of them. And just can you recycle these invasive beings? Have some devices you haven't noticed before. Use gold light, loosen them up, give them to your angels. Angels, here you go. All right. Good job, good job. Okay, so that was unblocking physical body aura layers 1 and 2, especially in the biker shorts area. And then astral body aura layers 1 and 2, especially area and especially above the shoulders. Good job, good job. Woohoo. Okay, so I'm going to look for a minute and see what we should do next. Okay, so in order to do the clearing that we're going to be doing, I want to explain something first. This will be a clearing that's going to help the theme, all three aspects of the theme: food, fitness, and face. So face, including body image stuff, and identity stuff. Food, including all sorts of eating stuff, including subconscious eating, like overeating, binge eating, comfort eating to an unhealthy degree, blah, blah, blah. Fitness, exercise, blah, blah, blah. So flashbacks is like when part of you is re-experiencing something from your past. So it's like you're not all here. You're re-experiencing old traumas. Flashbacks, in the way that I'm using it, typically is a negative. Like, it's like, I mean, you could have fantastic things that happened to you in the past that probably, feel good if you are reminded of them, but it's not the same thing as what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, unresolved, unprocessed, uncleared, stuff, challenging stuff that you went through that you're still not fully 100% over. So it's easy for you to kind of get yanked back into the past and relive a little bit of it. And obviously that's not good. And it can be it can show up in different ways. I think an obvious way would be eating. Like, say if you have a problem with eating, like it could be even a subtle problem with eating. I have a subtle problem with eating where I have a lot of times I have a strong preference towards eating standing up. And it's because I haven't fully cleared times in my past where I had many very negative experiences sitting down for a meal with other people. And there were really negative experiences. And so if I eat standing, then I think it doesn't trigger those flashbacks. So it's not that I never eat seated. I mean, my husband and I eat together and we watch shows and it's fun, but if I'm eating by myself, or sometimes before I sit down with my husband, I'll start eating while I'm standing. And I enjoy it quite a bit. And I think it's because it's like I'm avoiding the potential of the sitting down flashback of sitting down eating with other people. So probably the more I keep clearing the negative experiences that I had in my past decades ago, seated at meals with other people, then I won't have such a strong preference towards eating standing up. But it's not like a huge thing for me. If I was comfort eating and I put on, 10, 20 extra pounds, I probably would have cleared it already because it would have been more important to me and more impactful to my daily life, So, but it's always good to clear stuff, even if it shows up just in like little quirky, weird ways, because you don't want to leave unprocessed traumas, So, so that's something obviously that, if I do this exercise later on my own, that will help me in that way. But we'll do it for 3 ways, heal the parts of you that are flashing back. Heal the old trauma so you don't have to flash back about food. Heal the old trauma so you don't have to flash back about fitness. And heal the old trauma so you don't have to flash back about your face, your body image, your self-perception, your identity, that kind of thing. So we'll do it as healing mini yous, like the yous that are trapped back then. I mean, trapped is sort of an extra triggering way to put it, but the parts of you that are staying back there because it's like you haven't finished letting go of the fear or the anger or the anxiety or whatever. You know, you haven't finished healing and letting go. And so the more you heal those parts of you, the more you can finish up with that and then be here. And that way you don't have to keep re-experiencing that yucky stuff. So now, in the meantime, though, before you finish clearing it all, you can control your triggers. So that's another thing I want to explain that's related. Oops. So you can control your triggers sometimes, you know. I mean, if weather triggers you, you can't control the weather, you know. So, but there are some triggers you can control more easily. Like for example, you know, if you have you know, sexual abuse in your past, if you are a survivor of sexual abuse, as I am, and many people are, you can control your triggers to a certain extent by, you know, one of the ways would be not watching movies or shows that have graphic depictions of sexual abuse, right? And that's a way to control your trigger. Or if you're watching it, you know, just you know, make sure you're the one controlling the remote, you know, and so you can pause it and walk out of the room, you know, and it just or you know, if it's just you watching, you forward past it, you know, but if someone else is watching, you know, you pause and then you get to leave the room, you know, and they'll let you know when that scene's over, you know, that type idea. And I think more and more people are more aware of that there are a lot of survivors in the world of various types of abuse. And so they're more likely than they were decades ago to put warnings on media, you know, like warning this depicts this and this and this, you know, so you can control your triggers. There are some people who are very triggered by animal abuse, you know, or, you know, all sorts of different things. And so learning to control your triggers and not exposing yourself to watching that kind of thing, you know, say in a movie or a video or whatever, is a way that you can take care of yourself in the meantime until you get rid of all your flashbacks. And therefore it wouldn't be so mind altering to, you know, accidentally watch, you know, a couple seconds of something. Obviously it still probably would be a good idea to control your triggers as well. You know, like I don't think I'll ever choose in this lifetime, even if I keep healing, you know, sexual abuse baggage, to, you know, I don't think I'll ever choose to watch a depiction of a, you know, sexual abuse, even if it's, you know, just hinted at. I mean, if it's more than just hinted at, it would be triggering and unpleasant, you know, even though I've done that, I have focused on clearing a lot of, but you know, so I just want to mention that it's okay to control your triggers and it's healthy, and, you know, it's something that you can do for yourself to help take care of yourself in the meantime until you've, you know, made more progress clearing your flashback parts of you. So, to clear coughing, I should say that as an aside. So some coughing, like the scratchy kind of cough where your throat is not sore, it helps to have hot liquid to drink. This is not hot enough, so that's part of why going on. I keep coughing because my liquid isn't hot enough. But then sometimes it is also invasive energy. It's like sometimes it's like the chicken and the egg. You know, it could be something I ate, gave me cold in my throat, and my liquid isn't warm enough. And so, but then that weakened my energetic boundaries. And so then I got some damage in some auras and some damage in my telepathic mesh, you know, and some invasive beings shoot energy at the throat, which then makes you cough. But I think it was more the physical stuff and then secondarily the energy boundaries issue. By the way, it's always good to know like both so that you can get through it faster. I am going to have to get hot water. Hold on. Back. My water is nice and hot now, so it's like such a relief. The other kind of common coughing in traditional Chinese medicine that I know of, I'm not an expert in traditional Chinese medicine, but the other kind of coughing is if your throat is actually sore and that's heat in your throat, too much heat. So then, you know, you got to think of where you were eating, and there are some herbal formulations that will help you clear the heat so you don't have a you know, like a raw sore throat. But that's not what I have. I have some cold in my throat. So a couple things, you know, you want to check. It's like, is there damage? Are there invasive beings? Right? And then, of course, the hot liquid to knock out the cold in your throat. But so the damage would be to, you know, any of the auras, any of the 17 auras in front here, plus the telepathic mesh of the fifth layer, fifth chakra, both of the fifth chakras. You want to check for damage there, especially in the front. And any invasive beings that might have gotten in at some point, you know, ask the angels to recycle them. So hopefully that was informative. Yeah. Okay, so now finally, after that aside about how to handle energy boundaries and physical beverages in relation to coughing, now let's do let's get back to flashbacks. So we're going to help heal mini yous. You don't have to do flashbacks. And flashbacks often are very subconscious. You just feel anxious. You know, you might not start reliving some day in your childhood. Like when I eat at the, still explaining. When I'm eating, standing up at the counter, I'm not consciously reliving, you know, from decades ago, all those unpleasant meals I had seated with people. I'm just finding enjoyment in eating standing up. You know, so they influence your behavior, but you might not realize it, which is why, anyway, even if you don't know, you have to. So let's do it. So first we will do it relating to food. Food and beverages. So this could also help you with drinking enough water. Maybe you have some kind of, you know, unresolved traumas around drinking water or drinking beverages from this life or a past life that you don't know. So you can just imagine a bunch of mini yous from the past that, you know, have unresolved baggage about food and eating and beverages, all that stuff, snacking, meals, whatever, right? And so they're just little mini yous and you just heal them, right? Lots of gold light. You can bring up red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy, gold light. Try to be supportive and kind to these little mini yous. You don't, it's not necessarily helpful to feel what they are feeling, these parts of you, but just, you know, be nice, be supportive. Say, hey, it's okay. It's time for healing. It's all right. Okay. You can heal. It's all right. Okay. So what are we doing? We're healing little mini yous that are in the past, either from this life or past life, that are kind of stuck, you know, in the past, but you don't necessarily notice it. It's just, but it impacts your attitudes and your behavior around food and beverages. So just keep healing these mini yous that are stuck in the past. It's okay. It's all right. All right. And you can say to angels, can you help and heal these parts of me? Just take a couple deep breaths. So as that energy gets healed, then that part of you isn't stuck in the past. And, you know, of course, if it's, you know, it might be something that you have to do over time, you know, because there are little bits of you and you can bring some back, but then others you have to heal at a different time because it's too much to heal right now. So deep breath, breathe into your fingers, your toes, your auras, your grounding. All right, good job. So then let's do one for fitness, physical fitness. So just imagine little mini yous that are stuck in the past, either in this life or a past life, around fitness, physical fitness, doing exercise, doing stretching, being aware of your body's physical limitations, but also your physical potential. Sometimes you can have an inaccurate feeling of like, like a fear of injuring yourself that's not really rational. And so you don't work out even though you totally could, because you're flashing back to some past time when you did get injured. So just imagine all the little mini yous in the past, whenever they are, that are stuck there. And because they're stuck there, it influences your behavior around physical fitness. So just keep healing these parts of you. You can use gold light. You can do a tricolor soak, red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy. Keep using gold light. You can say, angels, if there are any invasive beings affecting these parts of me, can you please recycle them? I know for me, sometimes, I know I've worked this a lot already though, but sometimes little parts of me are still stuck in like gym class, in early ages, like junior high or elementary school gym class. I had some not positive experiences there. So just heal these parts of you. You don't have to be stuck in elementary school gym class forever. Lots of gold light. It's okay. Be nice to these parts of you. Say it's all right. You can even remind these parts of you, hey, guess what? I'm this age now. I'm all grown up. I'm, whatever age you are. And just, remind these parts of you something cool about your present day life. Like I know how to drive a car, or, something that like these younger yous might be impressed with. And of course there's past life yous too. So you could just say, hey, it's okay. You can let go. Time to heal. It's all right. You can say, angels, can you please finish healing these parts of me? And just keep breathing. Feel your toes, feel your fingers. Where are your auras, your groundings? Unblock your groundings a little extra. Good job. So then now the third aspect of our theme is face, which is short for, your literally how you perceive your own face and the energy in your face, but also body image, how you perceive your whole body. Also, how you dress your body, how what you want to show to other people, how you show your body to other people. All sorts of aspects, identity, how that's wrapped up in your perception of your face and your body. So there can be many yous that are stuck in the past, and those many yous are impacting how you perceive yourself, how you perceive your face, how you see your face, literally, how you see your body, how you see yourself as a person, your own identity. So just imagine these mini yous that are stuck in the past, either in this life or past lives, and give them a healing so that you can make positive progress in your own self-image, your body image, your face. Feel these parts of you. You can do a tricolor soak with them, red earth energy, orange earth energy, yellow earth energy. You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings affecting these parts of me, can you please recycle them? Try to be comforting and soothing to these parts of you. It's okay. You can heal. You might have energy impacting these parts of you, these stuck parts of you, like from a family that you had at that time, or a religion you were in, or a certain culture. Maybe you were like an oppressed, you were oppressed by your social group. To just wash all that off, these parts of you. So that you can get that energy back and it's nice and whole and healed. You can say, angels, can you help me finish healing these parts of me? Breathe. Wiggle your toes, touch your fingers, breathe into your spine. Mm. Okay, good job. Good job, good job. So we'll do clear STEBs as like a little palate cleanser after that. Okay. So sorry about that. I was taking notes. So for clearing STEBs, just put out in front of you any energy copies of any energy blocks that are stuck on any level. Maybe from the exercise we just did, there might be a little leftover stuff. Maybe just from life and politics and just all the stuff you're working on. Maybe there's just stuff blocks that are too triggered, right? So just put out in front of you copies of anything that's triggered, and you can make big piles and just say, angels, is it okay to clear all this right now? Is it healthy and gentle? That way your angels will pick out stuff if it's too much. And then just bring up red earth energy, soak it all in red earth energy, gold light, wash out cords going into it from other people. You can say, angels, can you recycle any invasive beings stuck in this junk? And then just keep using gold light to melt all the blocks or blow them up if you want. Okay, we'll do that one more time. Put out in front of you any energy blocks that are still triggered after whatever exercises we just did, or just, because of life. And use red earth energy, soak them all in red earth energy, use gold light to melt the cords. Angels, is this healthy and gentle to clear all this right now? Deep breath. Angels, can you please recycle any invasive beings hooked into this junk? Wash everybody out and melt the blocks or blow them up. All right, good job, good job. Okay. So a little change of scenery there. Uh-huh. I want to do one more where it's just like one technique, but we do it 3 ways for each aspect of the theme. So we just did it for healing mini yous so that you're less likely to have flashbacks that affect you in food, fitness, and face. So now we will do melt your prison technique. We'll do that first just in general for whatever, your favorite issues or your current issues, whatever. And then we'll do it for food issues, fitness issues, and face body images. So we'll do first for general. So melt your prison is like you imagine yourself, a little mini you, and you imagine prison that you're in this little prison cell with bars all around, and the prison cells represent stuff that's holding you back. Other people's energy in your space, old devices, old baggage, and you just melt the prisons. You melt the prison so that you free yourself, and so then you're unburdening yourself, clearing a whole bunch at once. Obviously, you want to do what's healthy and gentle, but so just imagine the prison that you're in of whatever's blocking you from moving forward in wherever you want to move forward in, right? And just, obviously say, angels, help me, make this healthy and gentle. So they might adjust your prison bars a little bit so you don't do too much. And then go ahead and melt your prison. Just whatever general benefit, working on your own projects, whatever. Just melt your prison. You're freeing yourself. And you could melt it while it's still around you, or you could just lift it all off, loosen it with gold light, lift it off and blow it up, or lift it off and hand it to your angels. Angels, here you go. The point is you just keep clearing until you really feel like, okay, whew, did it. I'm free. You could say, angels, if there are any invasive beings screwing with me, can you please recycle them? All right. So that was melt your prison just for general benefit. And now we'll do it for food and beverage issues. So imagine you right now, and imagine whatever's holding you back from making progress in your food and beverages growth. And just see that as bars, whatever's holding you back, and then go ahead and melt your prison. Hey, angels, can you make sure this is healthy and gentle? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way of this? And just you can melt the prison in place if you want. So it's all gone. Or you can loosen it up and give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Or loosen it up and blow it up. And just see, do you feel like, okay, whew, I'm unburdened now, or I'm free? Or you still feel like there's something weird around you? If there's something still weird around you, go ahead, freeze it, ground it in gold light, lift it out. Angels, here you go. You feel like, whew, I did it, I'm free. As far as food and beverages, making progress. So give yourself a little extra healing, unblock your grounding. All right, good job. So then fitness. So physical fitness, exercise, stretching, all that good stuff. So imagine yourself and imagine anything that's holding you back or getting in the way of you, either mentally or, picking baby step projects or actually taking the action to do it consistently. Imagine anything that's holding you back with that as a prison around you, and then go ahead and melt your prison. You say, angels, can you help make this healthy and gentle for me to do right now? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? And you could melt it all in place, or you can loosen them up and give it to your angels, or loosen them up and blow it up. Like lift them off, lift off the prison and blow it up. Now just heal yourself, look at yourself, and this is related to you and fitness, making progress in physical fitness. So do you feel like, woohoo, I did it. I'm bold and beautiful and liberated now, or do you feel like you're still something keeping you down? And if so, just freeze it, lift it off, give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Freeze it, lift it off. Angels, here you go. Do you feel like that little mini you is like, woohoo, I can do it now? Or not? Keep strengthening yourself. Lots of gold light. All right, good job. So then the final one is face, which includes body image and identity. How you see yourself, how you present yourself to others, through clothing, through, your hair, whatever. So just imagine yourself right now, and then imagine anything that's holding you back from making progress with face, body image, identity, as prison bars around you, and then you're gonna liberate yourself, right? Just melt your prison. You say, angels, can you help make sure this is a healthy and gentle amount of growth? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? And just keep using gold light. You can melt the whole prison in place around you, or you can lift it off with gold light. Give it to your angels, or lift it off and blow it up. And just see, are you like, woohoo, this mini you that you're watching as far as face progress with face, body image, identity? Do you feel like, okay, I'm liberated now, I feel like I really can make progress? Or do you feel like there's still something, impacting you? If so, freeze whatever's impacting you, lift it off. Angels, here you go. Freeze it, lift it off. Angels, here you go. Again, this is you relating to face, body image, identity, self-perception, how you present yourself to others. So if there's something still holding you back, you can imagine it like another prison around you, and just say, angels, can you help make this healthy and gentle? Angels, can you recycle any invasive beings in the way? Use so much gold light. Melt it in place or lift it off. Give it to your angels. Angels, here you go. Or lift it off and just blow it up. So look at that mini you and see, do you feel like, whew, now I can make my progress? I can take my baby steps regarding face, body image, and identity. And you can say, angels, can you continue to help me with all of this? All right, good job, good job. Woohoo. Yay. So let's wrap up. Okay. Okay. So imagine a mini you and your everything, basically. All your 17 auras, your physical body and your astral body are inside those auras. And then you have your 2 groundings, physical body grounding and astral body grounding. Make them nice and wide as all your auras, all the way down to the core of the earth. Comb through everything. You can unblock above your auras. Sometimes you have energy dumped up there that doesn't break through, so it's just stacked up there. Unblock above the tops of your auras. And unblock above your head. Auras above your head. So receiving zones is just recognizing that really any part of your aura can be a receiving zone, is a potential receiving zone if it's unblocked enough and repaired enough. You can bring in your new energy through there. Some places, sometimes you might want to bring, like subconsciously, you might want to bring in energy from through a certain location. Like a lot of times I see people bringing in their personal power through the tops of their shoulders, down and straight into the shoulder, like empowerment stuff. But you can also bring it through here. But, and here I was talking about during the good karma window section, I was talking about, people can bring in like uplifting energy through the back here. So it's just good to unblock your auras everywhere so that wherever you most prefer to bring in your energy, you can do it. So unblock all over, above your shoulders, above your head, your chest, in front of your face. That's really good for your sinuses and your head. So just scoop through your chest and your face outward. Angels can recycle any invasive beings. Melt the blocks. Melt the cords. Again, scoop through your forehead, your chest, outward, drag all the junk out. Angels, can you recycle the invasive beings? And then melt the cords, melt the blocks. Biker shorts areas, unblock your auras around there. Lower legs, feet, unblock your auras all around there. Don't forget your sides, especially gallbladder, meridian, Wei Chi aura. All 17 of your auras, the sides, side of your head, side of your neck, side torso, legs. Strong flowing auras all around you. Okay. So then yin yang balance. We'll just do, a yin river and a yang river. And in the info section, it'll list all the yin meridians and all the yang meridians. So, the literal aspect of it if you choose to have that level of detail with it. But you can just, even without knowing the names of all your yin meridians and the names of all your yang meridians, you can just say, okay, well, yin and yang is like, you have 2 sides to yourself and they strengthen each other and complement each other and work together, right? So you want those 2 sides to be very strong so they can balance each other. Otherwise, if one side's too weak, the other side might kind of go batty. So you want both really strong and working together to support each other, right? So you can just imagine, I like to imagine it as like a circular 2 rivers, one that goes into the other, that goes into one, kind of like a yin yang symbol, sort of, in a way. But just 2 rivers. But you can imagine it like 2 gardens, 2 beaches, whatever, as long as they work together and support each other. But with the river aspect, you can think of like the volume of the river being volume of energy in those organ systems that you have. and meridians. That's as long as whatever imagery you like, as long as you're thinking about, okay, the strength, the amount of energy, and whether they're supporting each other enough. The yin is supporting the yang, and the yang is supporting the yin. Your yang, your yin. On a physical level, but also spiritual, emotional, mental, etc. All right, good enough. So, the fourth chakra, your fourth chakra, you have two of them, astral and physical. Astral fourth chakra and physical fourth chakra, helps with motivation, gratitude, compassion, self-love, self-care, self-esteem, all that good stuff, right? Positivity, glass half full perspective. And so let's make energy healing flowers to help strengthen you in all those fourth chakra aspects, especially gratitude. Because if gratitude begins to become a natural way of thinking, it just helps strengthen your heart chakra, and then you get all the other good benefits like motivation. Right? So you can make energy healing flowers out of universal healing energy, make them gold, light, and or rainbow colors, and just tune them to help and nourish your fourth chakras, including to help you with gratitude, positive outlook, motivation, all that good stuff. And then say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. Breathe in, remind yourself it's okay to receive, it's okay to have positive change. Okay, make more energy presents for yourself. And if you don't like flowers, make them in some other shape or form. But use universal healing energy, gold, light, and or rainbow colors, and tune them to just the right vibration so that you are strengthening and nourishing your gratitude, your motivation, your ability to feel sense positivity, to sense like a glass half full perspective. Just say, angels, can you check my flowers? And then give them to yourself. Okay, so one more time. Of course, you can do this as many times as you need, whenever you want. Just make energy healing flowers for yourself, as many as you need, and you can even make a whole bunch extra because you deserve it, right? And make them gold, light, and or rainbow colors, and tune them to just the right vibration to nourish and strengthen your fourth chakras, your gratitude, your motivation, your self-esteem, your positive outlook. The angels, can you check my flowers? And give them to yourself. Breathe in, remind yourself it's okay to have positive change. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to have gratitude. All right. So then you can just ask your angels, angels, can you remind yourself, I'm gonna let my angels help me and guide me. If you want. Because your angels are always there trying to help you and guide you, your angels and your spirit guide. But it's a lot of times maybe you're just not allowing yourself to have that. So you can just remind yourself, hey, my angels are here to help me. I'm going to let my angels help and guide me. And they can help and guide you subconsciously. You don't have to be like a super conscious psychic or something to receive angel help. All right. So angels, you can ask your angels, angels, can you help me wrap up this healing? All right. Good job, good job. That's a healing. Woohoo! Yay! Good job, good job. All right. Okay, so we'll take a quick break. I will use the restroom. You can too. And then I will stretch. I'll turn the camera back on for that in case maybe that inspires you to do your own stretching. Obviously, do what is gentle enough for your body at this time. Don't necessarily copy me. I'm not an expert, and everybody's different. Do what you need to do. And then after all that, we'll just do a little chit chat if you're up for it. And, you know, like if you have comments about how the healing was for you or about the topics we discussed. If you wanted me to look at you if you're a newbie, that's totally fine. As long as it's something simple, not like reading your life story. But like, for example, if you want me to check, you know, one of your chakras or your grounding or something. If you are a veteran, you know my work, you know, at least a little bit. Try to be more empowered about it. And, you know, you can state your issue and then state your own read on it first. What you read in your own self about what the issue is and how you can work on it. And then I'll just give you feedback on that, on your own self-assessment. Okay, but all that is after the break. So let's get the break going. I will get rid of the camera. So you don't have to watch my empty chair while I'm gone. And I'll be back soon. Hey, I'm back. So I cheated for the last like 2 minutes. I was just doing stretching on a mat that you couldn't see because my mat is over around the corner right now. So what I did already is I stretched my neck with this thing, which you could buy on Amazon. It's pretty cheap if you need the link. But I don't know if you need it. You know, my chiropractor said I needed it, so it's nice. And then I did a little bit of teeny bit of leg stretching, so I'll do a little more of that. I did treadmill earlier today while I was finishing my prep because I have a standing desk, and so I did a treadmill, but I didn't stretch afterwards, and you're supposed to. I'm a little extra tight. But at least I used the treadmill. That's good. I'm gonna have to figure out how to light the rest of my room better. With my later start time, back of the room gets. Okay. So looking for the comments I haven't read yet. Thank you everybody for your comments. Oh, yeah, I forgot to say. Would you please give it a thumbs up if you wish? It does help the stream, but you know you have free will, right? So you don't want to do it, just don't do it. Right? Your free will is very important. All right. My angels are cracking up about that. Let's see. Someone says, "Hi Janet, looking forward to this healing after a very long day." Well, good. Good timing then. That's good. Someone says, "Thank you, Janet. Feeling okay post healing. very tired and have a headache on the right side of my head. Feels like governing vessel, Wei Chi aura damage. I did try to heal it during the healing. I've been applying to jobs 2 to 3 times and 2 to 3 times a week and continue to feel good about it, but it also feels like I'm not applying to the right jobs. Looked at myself on my path about this and I see a white rope holding me back. Is that right? Okay, well, those are 2 different things. There's the headache and then there's the job stuff. You know, I would say don't snooze on the governing gallbladder one also. You know, that's why we spent extra time on it today. I was noticing a lot of people, you just don't have as much strength in the sides of their gallbladder meridian Wei Chi aura. So I would say governing vessel and gallbladder meridian Wei Chi auras. Yeah, those seem to be the main ones. And then the gallbladder meridian itself. Seems like it got a little whacked up. You know, I would also look at, because we did work on the gallbladder meridian, Wei Chi aura, and the gallbladder meridian way more than we normally would. So I would look for invasive beings that are trying to whack their way back in, that are used to being in that area. Also people. So the invasive beings, obviously you want to ask your angels to recycle them, and the people, you know, you just gotta, you know, keep healing and just remind them about karma. Maybe you'll be like, "Hello, karma, 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 karma." You know what karma is? Just checking. You know, if they're still whacking you, they're still whacking you. You can kind of, you know, be a little abrupt like that because they're already whacking you. So that way, you know, you kind of shock them into remembering that they're actually screwing themselves by harming you. But yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like, I mean, headache is not new for you, just for context for other people. But yeah, I would say look at, you know, who got kicked out and who's trying to kick their way back in, as far as beings and people, and make sure you get those beings recycled and, yeah, help those people to snap out of it in a clean way. As far as jobs, I mean, that's interesting. Are you applying to the right jobs? Yeah, I think there's something there on that. What I would say is, your angels keep talking about repeating patterns. Like you have these repeating patterns, and that's part of why you can look at it like a ship angle, you know, and like this is the vibration of the jobs that they would like you to apply to, and this is the vibration of the jobs that you're applying to. So it's like, yeah, it's just maybe mind garden might be a nice way to approach it, because there must be some kind of subconscious blocks and a block in between your conscious and subconscious mind. So maybe sleep slide unblocking also. But yeah, I think there is something to that about you're not quite applying to the right jobs and repeating stuck patterns. So, but don't hurt yourself, trying to overanalyze it. Just keep clearing and healing. Maybe like healing energy flowers and stuff. Nourish and clear. Keep nourishing and clearing about it. Up to helps. Also stretching, physical activity seems to be something that might help you with it also. Someone says, thanks for the healing, Janet. I feel less angry after the healing. That's interesting. My face feels so heavy and old. Very interesting. It feels like my mom is creating a filter so I don't see myself. Yeah, doesn't sound accurate. Yeah. When we were doing the flashbacks, I felt a wire that's wrapping around my energy legs. It's been really frustrating trying to get into my legs. I feel like the wire is an energy device. Yes, that's true. From a past life. Yeah. I think you have several of similar things from a couple past lives, like 4 different lives. So different like binding things around your legs. Seems like more lower legs than upper legs. Maybe left leg, upper leg as well. But seems like knees and on down, like knees to ankles. But including knees and ankles and in between there, both sides. Astral body, physical body also, but mostly astral body legs. So maybe that'll help you if you just imagine your astral body legs only, and then maybe I'll help you notice them, and you can just loosen them up and melt them away, or loosen them up and give them to your angels. The face thing. I think if you work your stomach meridian, yeah, I think just stomach meridian, like those first couple points of the stomach meridian, that could help pop out whatever it is. Whatever kind of. I didn't mean to pull that up. This is so funny. Okay, right there, yeah. So those first 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if you could do those side ones too, but I think just the first 4, if you just keep healing those and then comb outward, you can just pop off a bunch of from your astral body face and your more your astral body face, it seems like. So I think, are you seeing it wrong, or is there just stuff there? I think there's just stuff there that you're seeing. But it's like you're seeing it with your psychic eye. So your face actually looks fine. It's just your psychic eye is noticing these unappealing energies that you're noticing. But I think most people wouldn't be so sensitized to it. So you look fine, but obviously you want to look fine in your own self-perception as well. So yeah, you could just keep healing stomach 1 through 4 of your physical body, and then comb through that area out to physical and astral body aura layers. Well, all 17 aura layers. That would be safer to cover your bases. Like take off different masks and give them to your angels. They sort of look like masks. Hope that makes sense. Alrighty. Yay. Yet another thing. Oh, how did your friend do in today's healing? He did okay. Like his angels just say that he doesn't make as fast progress as you want him to make, as far as like learning his empowerment and learning how to subconsciously repair his space and stuff. He's more newbie than you would like him to be. But at the level and rate that he's choosing to grow at and able to grow at, then they're happy with how he did with the healing. Hope that makes sense. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. Thank you for the healing today. You're welcome. I've been having bad impulse control problems and disconnected thoughts. Do you know if my angels have any advice for me?" Well, obviously, angels are full of advice constantly, 24/7. But is there something they want me to point out? The disconnected thoughts, I wonder what you mean by that. I'm sure if I was a psychiatrist or a psychologist, disconnected thoughts would bring up a lot. But for me, disconnected thoughts, not sure exactly what you mean by that. So you could post a clarification on what disconnected thoughts are for you right now. But I mean, I would look at, I would want you to do a self-assessment too, because you're definitely not a newbie. So what's your self-assessment on what you should do? What's your self-assessment on what your angels are trying to point out to you? That's what I would turn it back to you, because self-assessment, it's priceless. And so this is an opportunity for you to practice your self-assessment and get feedback on it. So I'm going to bounce that one back into your court. So if you can clarify for me what you mean by disconnected thoughts and give me a self-assessment on how you're doing, what you need to work on to address the issues you're mentioning. And then I'll give you feedback on it. Okay? Someone says, "Thanks, Janet. I feel okay and positive now, but still feel a little bit like I'm reeling from such a chaotic day. Yeah, I also feel a little bit anxious about how much I need to learn and acquire new skills at work." My self-assessment, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. My self-assessment is the chaotic feeling is a bunch of beings in my space, a little first chakra damage and cording from my mom. Accurate? How did I do in this healing? Your angels are talking about stretching. That could be, I don't know if you've already done your stretching post-work, but seems like your angels think that, that could really help bring you back. Also, check your yin-yang balance. Just like, it seems like if you work on that a little more, then that could help calm you down. If you view like a river for all your energy system just as one river, and then look to see if there's any like wild, wonky kind of energy there, usually like little spinning vortexes, those are invasive beings, so you could just have them recycled. Be nice. But okay, so is your first chakra damaged a little? Yeah, your astral body first and astral body second are a little damaged. That's true. Physical fourth is a little damaged too. Yeah, your mom is a little bit. I don't think she did the damage whacking. I think she just waltzed in. I think someone else did the whacking and is like glowering at you, and then she just kind of waltzed in and sat down and tried to make it all about her. Trying to use your like whacked up aura as like a couch that she can just come in and sit on and chit chat with you. So she's not the actual aggressor. She's just taking advantage of the situation. How did she do in the healing? Her angels like how she did. They point out that she wasn't the aggressor, so that means that the healing helped. That's funny. Yeah, I guess she is often. The Yeah, they like that. Her angels liked the flashbacks, the heal mini use, so you don't have flashbacks. The most for her. There's a lot of past life stuff that she gets stuck in, and that's sometimes how she can be so kind of like shallow and materialistic. Is she goes into these flashbacks about times that when like they had like no, whatever family she was in at the time had no food and no social standing and no respect, and yeah, so no one, like almost like like a really low caste in a caste system, and so it was hard for her to have community support when she needed it. So that's why now she's very into appearance. She's very into like wealth, but also appearance, so that she can be a higher status, because she thinks that higher status people receive social help, whereas very low status people, at least in that life, did not. So anyway, her angels like that part of the healing. So she's gonna work more with her angels to do more in her sleep about that. Hope that helps. It says, thank you so much. For melting prisons, which we did towards the very end, I noticed I still see myself locked in a prison where I voluntarily gave a key to my husband. Unsure why I did that, but clearing agreements comes to mind in order to melt them. Thank you. Okay, so that was a question. It's interesting. I see what you're saying about that, giving him a key, but I don't think you had to. I think you just did. So I think it's like you recreate being controlled by a male figure with your spouse, rather than just, breaking out of the prison and, nobody, you're not in it still and somebody doesn't have a key. I think you kind of get into like a martyry victimy kind of a space in your life. And there are ways in which, you kind of assume, well, he could help me with it, and he just won't or whatever. So I think there is something there with that, but I would just say, just have him give back all the keys and melt all the prisons rather than, I don't think there's an agreement though. Like any way in which you had to do it. I think you just, project that sort of controlling male dynamic into, I mean, I think there are some ways he is controlling, but not in the way that you were seeing. I think that was, you were seeing something real, but it wasn't him making you give you keys. It was just you reenacting old disempowerment kind of relationships. Oh, right. Hope that helps. So you could just melt baggage rather than melting agreements. I mean, you could, but I don't think there were agreements in the way on that. I think you could just melt the baggage that causes you to, you feel trapped in your marriage. It causes you to be disempowered in your marriage. Because I think, yeah, he'll step into that role of being the controller, but I think you could nudge him out of that a lot more and just take the keys and melt the prisons. And he could just adapt. Hope that helps. Someone says, awesome work. I noticed melt the prison for identity brought me a little closer to my pro identity as a pro reader healer. I have noticed when I meditate, I spend more time in essentials. I love to get present in all chakras. Yeah, it's a cool thing. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, you are more often in all your chakras. I think there's something about like, simplicity and like being mellow that you kind of clicked with. Because you used to be kind of very nitpicky and like it just wasn't working right. But like I think it seems like maybe the yin yang balance helped. Because it seems like you're much more kind of you have a serenity that's helping you to kind of own your space better. So cool. Oh, here we go. There's the question. Maybe working the melt the prison would help to be more efficient with the essentials during meditation. I could. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there are different techniques where, I guess you just trial and error, is it imagining your whole space as a river? Is it imagining your whole space as a garden, as a beach? Is it, doing that like bust out of the energy blocks thing that, that I play sometimes? If that plays right this time. Where is that? Maybe I can't find it. Ah, here we go. Oops. There we go. If you just imagine all the blocks that are healthy and gentle to get rid of, and then you start, melting them away and start, like letting go of your resistance, asking angels to recycle invasive beings in the way. And then you just get ready to let go and blow them all up. Boo! There you do it. I love that. I did not create this graphic. It's from a show years ago. But I do love it. From Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. My husband's reminding me telepathically. Thank you. I forgot. All right. Okay, so backtracking to a comment that I skipped over in order to finish that other comment. Someone says, hi, Janet. Thanks for the help. I clear myself, but every night when I sleep, the invasive beings, keep putting back implants. Is there something more can do to block, or is it just clearing so they aren't around? Some of the implants block removal, so it's tricky. Thanks. And you're mentioning your name. Well, I'm not sure I know what you mean by implants. Maybe devices. I think sometimes you get a little out of your body. Like, it would be nice if you could start intuiting like how many chakras are you present in, and then don't get too caught up in invasive being stuff. I mean, it's nice that it's kind of cool that you're aware of invasive beings, you know, so that you can kind of monitor that. But I think, unfortunately, you're kind of under aware of how present you are and over aware of invasive beings. So then what you end up doing is kind of chasing your tail by, you know, you're not present enough to kind of close the door. And so you keep chasing around the intruders, you know? Whereas if you just keep working on getting in more and more and more of your chakras, then your boundaries are like exponentially stronger. And so then you don't have to just, you know, like constantly, you know, like deal with the flood of invasive beings or whatever, you know. I mean, I think you're not quite as present as would be efficient to be, you know. So it's like if you could even like have knobs and like turn down your awareness of all the invasive beings to a point where your angels think, okay, well, that's ideal for you right now. And then turn up your awareness of your chakras and your grounding and your flow and your auras to a point where your angels think is ideal for you, so that you can like drive the car better, you know? Because it's like you'll be in a ditch and you don't really see it, you know? Like you'll be in a ditch, meaning like your first and second chakras are damaged. And so then you're like trying to deal with beings back here. And if you just did some chakra repair, you'd get way more present. And then you could realize like, oh, wait, I have like 3 auras back there that are ripped up. And then you could actually close the door, so to speak, you know? So I think, I've mentioned it before, like trying not to get too caught up in all the beings. But I think maybe just, you know, like do that thing with the knobs, you know, so you're more aware of you and how present you are and what to do about it, and less aware of every goddamn invasive being in the world that's in your space. So I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. Yeah. So the whole some implants block removal, blah, 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 it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think if you're present enough, then there's nothing blocking you from getting anything out of your space. So I'm thinking you're, you know, at that time, you're just like, yeah, try to be aware. Like right now you're in 76543, but not in 2 or 1. So to get more present, you know, what would you do? Not chase out some beings. To get more present, you'd unblock your legs. You'd work your, you know, biker shorts area more. You'd unblock the back of your grounding. You'd close down the flaps of your creative rings, you know, that kind of thing, you know, and none of that really has a lot to do with invasive beings. I mean, you'd actually, with the creative rings, maybe you'd have some recycled that were in the way of the flaps closing, you know, that kind of thing. But it's not like, you know, chasing around every goddamn last invasive being. That's not what's going to get you from A to B properly. Hope that makes sense. Focus on how present you are and how can you get more present faster, because that's how you have a good life. Not, you know, having a purely an aura with no invasive beings in it. That's not really what does it. It's how present you are. which then gives you strength, which then gives you a good life. Hope that makes sense. Someone says, I liked the prison melting or face body image, food, fitness. Lasting impact there. Oh, good. Heart chakra feels tight. I will work on it. Yeah. So how would you work on fourth chakra tightness? You know, is there damage? Yeah, it looks like you have a couple cracks in your physical fourth in the front. And then you want to look, you know, because your conception vessel meridian goes right through your fourth chakra, that area. So double check there too, because that looks, it looks kind of really tight there. Your CV meridian. And the kidney meridian goes, you know, well, actually it branches out by then, but CV goes right through it. So that's another, so then you could check, you know, fourth layers, your astral body aura, physical body aura for any wax. You check your CV meridian Wei Chi aura. I think that's, you know, that's got some. So yeah, I would say it might be more, it's a little bit of a fourth chakra issue, but it's also a CV meridian issue. Hope that helps. Someone says, thanks for the feedback, Janet. Headache is already better from working, gallbladder Wei Chi aura. Very cool. A few coworkers and family needed to be reminded about karma. Yeah. I had to hand out some reminders today myself. Someone says, thanks, Janet. I could be more present in my chakras, etc. As you say, I will change my focus. Thanks again. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, because otherwise it's like you're trying to ride a bicycle, like by like doing a headstand on the seat of the bicycle. It's just like, it's just not, you know, you're just asking for drama that way. But I think it's just that, you know, maybe you were aware of invasive beings long before you were aware of these kind of techniques that I talk about. And so that's why that ability to sense invasive beings is so much stronger for you right now. But if you just kind of tune it down to a level that's not going to lead you astray, you know, obviously don't, you know, get rid of that ability. It's cool, you know, but just like adjust it so that you stay on track and make as much progress as possible. Don't get distracted. Hope that helps. Alrighty. So I think that's pretty much it. We could, I'll see if the kitten babysitter wants to bring out the kitten. You can see the kitten. My husband has a kitten. Let's see, we'll see if the kitten makes an appearance. My husband was nice enough to do kitten babysitting in a different room because last healing he was a bit much. I think he likes my moving hands, so when I do the healing, so he was like all up on me the whole time. Butt typing. But anyway, there's really not much to update about the garden that I haven't shown recently. I mean, there are lots of tomatoes and stuff. It just gets so dark so quickly. Usually I get my inspiration to go out in the garden pretty late in the day, so that's a bit of a thing. So this is our little superstar, Felix. Hey, Felix. Hey, baby. You okay? Will you? Oh, my baby. My baby. Microphone's in the way of you seeing his fabulousness. He's such a cutie. Yeah. Lot of noise, doesn't it? So that's it. Not really much to say other than everything's okay with the pets these days. I mean, we did make some good progress socializing the two cats together. They still don't hang out at the same time. We have to supervise, make sure they're respectful with each other. Because he kind of wants to run up to her, which is very rude in kitten language. Wants to run up to her and stare at her right in her face, which you're not supposed to do. It could be interpreted as aggression in cat language. Don't mean it right. So anyway, I guess that's it. So I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever's next for you. And that's that. Oh, more kitten typing. There we go. That's his typing. He wove ducks. That's Felix's contribution. All right. So I hope whatever's next for you, it is good. And we'll leave out with some butterflies. There you go. Bye. You're so amazing. And the twin set is what's next on the 23rd and the 26th. And well, there's like only a couple spots left for that on my website, as well as the November healings are. So that is jwhealing.com. And I'm very open to working with newbies, as well as people I haven't worked with a long time, as well as all my veterans, of course. So take care. Bye. You're amazing.